probably picked up on some of that, and and unfortunately, in the worst way possible, Jay's journal, her distorted version of Alden's diary, really helped to accelerate that. For a lot of people, really helped to cement that idea.
Well, you mentioned that lives were destroyed by the Satanic Panic. Can you give me some examples of that?
Yeah. So I do a little bit of a timeline later on in the book, but so for example, let's see. I'm just going to go through this here. So I talk about. I mean, one of the most famous examples is this thing that we now call the McMartin preschool case. This is in Los Angeles, California, and that's where 321 charges get filed against 7 adults for what at one point are termed sacrificial satanic rites. And these are, and obviously we all know that abuse happens, horrific abuse happens, but these are cases where there are children are describing flying witches and toddlers being flushed down toilets into secret rooms. At one point, in Austin, Texas, there's a couple, Dan and Frank Keller, who they run a small daycare center in Austin, and they are accused of satanic ritual abuse. And among the allegations are that they forced children to drink blood-laced Kool-Aid, that they threw children into shark-filled swimming pools. And in this case, for example, the initial accuser retracted her statement, and the primary eyewitness retracted her statement, but it didn't matter. The Kellers still went to prison for 22 years, and they were eventually released and declared actually innocent. And in a town not too far from where I grew up, in a place called Wenatchee, Washington. Yeah. Wenatchee is at a town of just 25,000 people, but prosecutors charged 43 adults, and I'm not making this up, they charged 43 adults with 29,726 counts of ritual abuse. And again, in 1996, the star witness admitted to fabricating all of the accusations, and she publicly apologized, but it still took the state years to release the last of the defendants, many of whom had been convicted and gone to prison. So it was, the Satanic Panic was a crazy thing to live through, and looking back now, it's still amazing that it happened.
Well, we are out of time. We've been talking to Rick Emerson from rickemerson.com. The book is called Unmask Alice. Truth is stranger than nonfiction. You can find Rick Emerson on Instagram and Twitter at Rick Emerson. Hey, Rick, thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Good night.